Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof! That was quick. I forgot that we had Wolfie in the hidey hole here with us from the last episode because I accidentally shot him with a bow. Everybody felt really bad about that. But yeah, welcome to episode 661 of Farlands or Busts. Thank you very much, Wolfie, for making sure the exit was safe. Episode 661. Did I say that? Episode 661 of Farlands or Bust for your Monday, October 30th, 2017. As expected, unable to reach episode 666 in time for Halloween. For shame. For shame. Also for shame is we missed last week's Farlands or Bust Friday, so I'm recording this Sunday live on Twitch. So I do have some questions from Twitch chat, topics. It's been a busy week for me in ways that I did not intend to be busy. So I'm a little bit behind on a bunch of things. But such is life, isn't it? Gotta roll with the punches, and you gotta walk to the Farlands. Indeed. Indeed. So yeah, I know what we can blame it on though. Interstellar space debris. We'll talk about that in a second, but first, my phone died. Oh man, my phone died a brutal death. It was actually overnight in its sleep. Yeah, everybody, I've had this question asked multiple times about what phone I use, what service I have. I've been on Google Fi service for a long time. I'm still happy with it. I don't use a phone as a phone that often. I don't talk to people. I don't text people that often either. It's mostly my only phone. I don't have a landline or anything at home, and it's mostly a GPS device and social media upkeep situation. So I really have never needed... I don't like big phones. Certainly haven't liked big phones. I had the Nexus 6 before, and that was just too big. Couldn't fit in my pants pocket, so I switched to the 5X, which is what I had up until last Sunday night. Because come Monday morning, went to turn it on, darkness. Click the button, nothing. Blackness. Just an off screen. And I'm like, uh-oh. I had it plugged in overnight, so I'm like, well, maybe the charger went dead or the outlet didn't charge it and it's just not charged, so I changed chargers and outlets. I was able to get it to respond, I suppose I should say, not turn on. I got the Google logo, but then it turned right off again. In my panicked research, it appears as though the Nexus 5X and some other LG-made cell phones are increasingly suffering from a thing called Bootloop. Like Fruit Loops, but less tasty. The Bootloop problem, where it basically can never boot. It never gets past the booting phase, that is showing the Google logo and then nothingness. I can get the boot loader. It's kind of a little debug screen. When you hold the power button and the volume down, it might be different on your phone. The power button and the volume button, it brings up kind of like the BIOS screen, I guess, on a computer if you're looking for similarities. And you get options like restart, shut down, start normally, or recover. Try to go into recovery mode, and nope, even that won't load. So you're stuck in that boot loop. Because in recovery mode is when you can do a factory reset or whatever. So that's sad. That's sad. But as the cell phone is my only means of communication, aside from computer, portable means of communication outside my computer and outside my own little world here, kind of a shock, kind of a, uh-oh, now what? I need a phone. This one isn't working. I contacted Google Fi. I bought it from the Google store, and they're referring people to LG, but I need a phone now. So, in what normally is like a month or two long process of searching for expensive purchases, whether it be a vehicle, a phone, computer parts. You guys know, shoes even. Y'all know, you've seen it. I've mentioned things like this before. Was quickly compressed into the time of a few hours. Not even a few hours. Google Fi has some pretty limited phones that you can use because it's kind of a different setup. It uses both Sprint and what else do they use? Sprint and T-Mobile and US Cellular now. Spectrums. So it's not like you have to find a phone that just carries, you know, your phone, your carrier's spectrum. You have to have these special phones that have these capabilities to switch between networks and Wi-Fi calling even. So, yeah, I didn't have too many options. The Google Pixel phones were just updated to the Pixel 2s. And I just said, you know what? This right now is the latest phone. It's the same size as the Google 5X, the Pixel 2. Even though there are starting to be reports of them having problems, specifically the 5 or the Pixel 2X, whatever, the 6-inch Pixel has problems because it's partly manufactured by LG, maybe. So anyway, whatever. I just ordered a new Pixel 2, put it on rush delivery. Very, 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 very expensive. Twice as much as I paid for my 5X. But just didn't want to be without a phone for too long. But I was without a phone from Monday through the end of Wednesday. Which even that is just a bit... Like, I don't want to say like I feel dependent on it. I certainly survived. I was able to pick somebody up from the airport with reasonable ease. That was a little bit just like, what if they're late? What if they're standing somewhere else? They'll never be able to get a hold of me. That worked out, luckily. The cell phone lots don't do any good if you don't have a cell phone. I went hiking on Tuesday with some relative ease. I went to a place I had been to before, so I knew how to get there and get back. Otherwise, I normally would use my GPS. Look at all these chickens. I would use my GPS to go somewhere new. But yeah, it still is, like, off-putting. It's just, like, I started to, like, pick up the dead phone and try to put it in my pocket. I'm like, I don't need to carry this with me. It's just become second nature. But yeah, I got this new phone, and aside from the monumental costs, I'm happy with it in that it works. I would have been happy using my 5X for another 2 years, honestly, but that was not in the cards. I was able to get a hold of LG support, and yesterday shipped my 5X to them. I've heard that they're doing refurbishments or replacements or even just refunds, since they clearly understand that it's a problem with their phones, not just limited to the 5X. So we'll have to wait a couple weeks for that. Yeah, so now I've got a phone again. I am back in the world of the living. So that's fantastic. And yes, indeed, I have tacked on with Google Fi the phone protection plan that perpetually protects against problems such as dead phones or dropping or cracking or breaking, things like that, which I've always avoided doing. I've always been a stickler for not going for the extended warranties. They're generally a ripoff. But I do believe this phone is past that threshold of, that's pretty expensive. Maybe I should make sure that I don't have to shell out such an expense again in the next few years. Let's go with that. So, yeah, because previously, like, the phones I had bought were like, oh, a few $100s or whatever. I'm like, well, if I'm paying this extra fee to protect it, after 2 years, I would have paid all the money I could have just bought a second one. Whereas at this price, at this price, the scales have tipped in the other direction. So yeah, that was the beginning of my week, and everything has just sort of piled up behind that, as they do, unfortunately, as they do. But we're getting back on track. It was one of those weeks where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be streaming every day, record Far Lands or Bust episodes. I got some special plans for Halloween for my stream, and then no soup for you. No soup for you. But let's see what soup we have in the next episode here of Far Lands or Busts. In the morning. Not the... Did I say episode? The next day. The next day. Let's say the next day. In the morning. The next morning. Yeah. Good night. And awakeness. And a cell phone-ness. You took some damage there. Ooh, we need some pigs. Definitely need some pigs. So yeah, that kind of caught up with me. And then I think the stress caught up with me, and I felt a little bit sick on Thursday and mostly Friday. I fell asleep, like in the middle of the day, which is something I never do. I am not able to nap. It was not something I was planning on doing, so I didn't know if I was feeling sick. I just did come back from traveling to San Francisco. The last time I went to San Francisco for Mindcrack Marathon, I got sick too, so I was really worried about that. I'm doing this whole thing. I'm still hunting for a... Well, not hunting, I suppose that's the wrong word, but searching for an adoptable... Hopefully a little bit less clumsy than you there, Wolfie. Adoptable dog. There's been some back and forth with that. That's been... Frustrating is the wrong word, because the thing that happens is that, oh, the dog I wanted gets adopted to somebody else, so boo, it's not for me, but yay, it found another family, so it's kind of... Happy, not happy. And yeah, just a bunch of other stuff, I guess, just caught up with me a bit too much. But ooh, look at this. This is screenshot worthy. Come on, Wolfie, let's get, and then we'll murder these pigs. But first, a glamour shot. No, get, yep. There we go. This should work. This should work. Glamour shots. That's gonna be pretty good. Both the pig and Wolfie were looking at me. Murder! Don't look at me! I will take your bones! So yeah, that's been my week. I mentioned earlier, perhaps it was caused by this interstellar visitor. Because in space news... Woof. The asteroid and or comet, lovingly named A/2017 U1, was discovered on September 9th, and it appears to be, with more information and more information about the trajectory and speed, it appears to be the first object to be observed with an extrasolar origin. That is to say, an asteroid that came from either another star system or debris that exists between the stars. They know this, or they hypothesize this, because the speed at which it's moving is at escape velocity, which means they've actually, on September 9th, they discovered it as it was moving away from the sun. It's actually already made its closest approach. It's apoapsis, or is it periapsis? Something. Its closest approach to the sun, and is slingshotting out, and will never ever return. So with more data, more observations, they might be able to track where it came from, but also where it is going. And I'm sure with the observations, they can do some, chemical, spectrograms and whatnot to figure out where it came from. Periapsis? Periapsis, is that what it is? Periapsis is the closest approach? Yeah, that makes sense. Perihelion, if you're talking about in relation to the sun. Yes, thank you, chat. I'm smart. I mean, I knew all these things already. I'm not all getting these hints from chat live as I'm recording this. Oh, look, a man. It's a structure, a statue of a man. Okay, upon closer inspection, it is just a pile of rocks. So yeah, that is kind of cool news. Scientists have hypothesized that this is certainly possible, and it's possible it happens all the time, but this is the first observed record of such a thing. And yeah, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat, isn't it? If only we had seen it beforehand, like on its approach, but they said the angle at which they were able to observe it for the first half of its journey, it was obscured by the brightness of our own sun. But now that it's slingshot around, can actually observe it on its way out. It's moving faster than the Voyager probes are moving at escape velocity. So that means it must have had some. It must have had some momentum moving with it. Ooh! Look at that spooky place. Happy Halloween, everybody! We found the Halloween place. The party. What's going on? I hit the creeper, I think, but that's about it. I don't think that's a spawner up there. I think it's just that's the only place that's dark. So everything's spawning in that little cave. Spooky noises. So yeah, that's a little bit of space news that kind of caught my eye. It's very interesting. Something else that recently caught my eye, as recently as 15 minutes ago in the Twitch chat, apparently this little series that you're watching, Farland's Bust, has a Wikipedia page on the official Wikipedia. I mean, I know that's not supposed to be something that's super amazing, since it's like a publicly, quotations, publicly editable encyclopedia, but it is usually pretty hard to get content up there if it's otherwise not really well known or relevant. But yeah, I did not know this. I knew there were like different fan-made wikis and wikia pages or whatever else is out there, but I didn't realize that there was a Wikipedia page. I don't know if that's a recent thing or not. It doesn't seem like it based on the file edit history. It just means it's enough to be noteworthy, newsworthy. True, we have had a few articles written. Just a few little features, and world records and whatnot. But that's kind of interesting. I had no idea about that. Cobalt Bartimaeus is the one who let us know about that. Thank you very much in the chat. But I do have a bunch of questions from the last week of Twitch, Flob Friday, that I think we can get to. A lot of them food related, so if you're hungry, prepare to get more so. Kanafrag asked, what is your favorite snack/drink when watching TV/a movie/a stream? Question mark. I will go through all of the punctuation. I don't snack much at all. Not much of a snacker. If I don't watch that much TV either. I have actually just recently started to force myself not to be sitting at my computer all day. So then I sit on my couch for a little bit. But I have been watching some streams downstairs, and I've been watching some Amazon Prime shows or whatever. If I'm feeling hungry, like if I know I've had a light dinner, like a salad or something, then popcorn, bowl of popcorn, my personal favorite, kettle corn, just, microwave bag popcorn is all right. Trying to intake some more fiber in my diet, so I've been eating some almonds. Not really like sweet things, or not too much salty stuff. Like chips, I'll have crisps with my lunch or whatever, but I don't just like have a bag full. I used to a lot of chips and salsa, like tortilla chips and salsa, but even that I've kind of like I've kind of passed on that. Yeah, true. Also, I've been picking up apples in my hunt for fiber. Apples, sliced up apples. I just had a sliced up pear today. Pears are in season, aren't they? I don't know. And yeah, almonds and various nuts. Cheese and crackers. Crackers are just kind of hard to come by, gluten-free. But I got like a brick of cheese that turned out to be spicy. It was a mango cheddar or something like that. Mango something. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like, you know, sweet. A sweet fruit cheese. Didn't realize it was hot mango cheddar with ghost pepper flakes. That was a spicy cheese ball. That was a spicy meat cheese ball. My cheese ball. But I made it through that with some gluten-free crackers. I think it was mango cheddar. I'm a fan of the cheddar. So yeah, but very rarely, merrily, a snacky. Right, woof. Indeed. Let's go to sleep and snack in the morning. And a ghost pepperness. See, it is a Halloween episode. We're talking about ghost peppers, Wolfie. Ooh, spooky cheese. Oh, man. So yeah, popcorn. I don't drink that much either, other than water. But you guys all already know this. It's either coffee in the morning, water throughout the day, and sweet iced tea with my meals. Is pretty much the wide gamut of liquids I imbibe upon. Dried Conquer asked, have you ever had a Sloppy Joe? Have I ever had a Sloppy Joe? What planet do you think I come from? Yeah, I've had a Sloppy Joe. My mom used to make Sloppy Joes when I was a kid. I was like, Sloppy Joes. I used to make Sloppy Joes sometimes. Just ground beef and a mixture of barbecue sauce and other such accoutrements. I suppose the Sloppy Joe has grown up to be more of a pulled pork sandwich, barbecue pulled pork sandwich. But of course, it's burgers, sandwiches, things like that, hot dogs, whatever, are a little bit more difficult for me to come by based on the necessity for the gluten-freeness of the buns. I went to a place that had a burger that was topped with pulled pork barbecue, but their barbecue wasn't gluten-free, the barbecue sauce. And that made me sad. So they were like, do you just want it with the pulled pork? I'm like, what? Plain pulled pork? Get out of my face. What are you talking about? I'm not having any of that. So yeah. I have had Sloppy Joe. You know what I saw? I've been watching some of our friend Lofty's channel. You remember Lofty? He's doing vlog stuff now. Very focused around his veganism, but he's also just a very funny comedic person to watch. And he made something, a vegan pulled pork sandwich out of something called jackfruit. Jackfruit? It looked really good, honestly. And I don't know what it is, though. Like, what is it? It looked exactly like pulled pork. But, yeah, that seems like that would be interesting to try. Jackfruit. I'm assuming it's a fruit. But it, like, pulled apart and looked exactly like pulled pork. Jackfruit. Yeah, some people know what jackfruit is. I've never heard of it before. Like, is that like a brand name, or is that like the name of the fruit, the thing. Dang person, you. Well, at least we got a bunch of. Yo, bloop, bloop. There we go. Are you up? Yeah. He had it in like a package, and he made it like out of a package of jackfruit, pre-packaged jackfruit cubes. So I don't know. The problem with that is that, oh, I guess I gotta buy hamburger buns that are gluten-free now, and, you know, it gets a bit, I'm very lazy. Is basically what I'm saying is I'm very lazy. And trying new things is against that laziness. Blood Shadowhawk 892, or I'm sorry, 982. I didn't want to confuse you with number 829. What is your favorite cheese? Well, it was good, but certainly not the ghost pepper mango cheddar. I do like a cheddar. A sharp cheddar. I do, right now I just got Havarti. I switch it up on my sandwiches. From cheddar. Provolone, I've kind of grown out of provolone. I was birthed out of the provolone. Swiss, cheddar, Havarti. I like the Havarti on the sandwiches. Yeah, that's really the only time I really consume cheese is on sandwiches. I'll go with cheddar on burgers. Cheddar is always a good choice. But I used to do pepper jack a lot, but then sometimes that just overpowers whatever you're eating, depending on how peppery jacky it is. But yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite cheese to say so. Like, specifically. I don't... Cheese is going against my more fiber motto. that would have the negative effect of that, so I'm not really eating solid cheese anymore. Pinnacle Chips. Do you have a preferred... This is their question, I'm not just yelling names. Do you have a preferred or recommended gluten-free bread for your daily lunch sandwich? I have settled upon Udi's. UDI''S. It is the most consistent of the white breads, and it is still expensive, but it's available, like, the normal size for all these breads are 12 ounce. It's available in a 24 ounce double loaf that doesn't cost double the price. So I always buy some of those, and I've recently found them at Target, which are cheaper, and just put them in the freezer. So Udi's. I also like their bagels. They also make a whole... Everything that they make is gluten-free. They make a wide range. They make pizza. Yeah, I get their pizzas. They have a supreme pizza. I have their... They do make little bag meals, you know, frozen meals, skillet meals or whatever. Like, actually, it was really good. The ziti and meatballs or something I just had was pretty good. I also just had a... Speaking of cheese... what are those little pasta pockets of cheese called? What are those called? Ooh. Ooh. Those are called ravioli. Thank you, Yoli. Yeah, I had one of those. Those are expensive. They're like $9 a bag. For supposedly what's supposed to be 2 servings, but I eat it all at once. So yeah, generally everything there is pretty good. With the Udi's. Consistent, I will say. Consistent. There are certainly other brands, but you might not find the same consistency. There's some, like, even local brands and stuff that are alright, but they're either more expensive or too big or something. But yeah. I also make toast with it. They did recently come out with English muffins, but those are not as good. They're all right, but they're more, and I've had this problem before with gluten-free English muffins. They're basically hamburger buns. They're basically, instead of a hamburger bun with a bottom and top, they're just the hamburger bun bottom and bottom. They're very fluffy, which isn't what I'm used to English muffins being. Kind of lacking on the nooks and crannies. There are some good gluten-free English muffins that are seed-based instead of bread-based, which are pretty good. But yeah, that's where that cookie crumbles. They also have cookies. Let's see here. Oh, that was the end of the food questions. Ooh, and we're coming to the end of the episode. Lon McGregor. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'll get to your question next time. Sorry, you asked a question about math. I have to compute that equation before I can answer it. Aces California asks, do you have any Halloween plans? I do not. I do not. If by plans you mean leaving the house and interacting with other human beings. I do not. Most people, it seems, had their parties and plans this past weekend, which makes sense. Work parties or whatever. Everybody's dressing up in their costumes. I do not have those sort of plans. I do have stream plans. Special stream plans. Not like out of this world, but certainly something I've never done before on stream. Halloween themed. So I will be doing that. So if I can take this moment to plug twitch.tv/KurtJMac on Halloween, I will be a thing. I'll be doing a thing. And you can watch. I'll be playing a video game and commentating as I normally do, but the presentation upon which I do that will be slightly less Kurt-like. I'm generally not that big into Halloween, to be honest with you, and I've mentioned this before. Ah, crap. Speaking of Halloween, there were pumpkins before, weren't there? We should have grabbed those. I'm a terrible human being. We've always put pumpkins down. Well, maybe not always, but we've sometimes put pumpkins down for a Halloween episode of Far Lands or Busts. And I've gone and messed it all up. Way to go. Way to ruin Christmas. Oh, man. There were pumpkins before, weren't there? We walked right by them. Take it. There we go. That's gonna be a problem. Whoop. There you go. No VR. Nothing like that. But, yeah. I'm just to mention it. Just to mention it. I'm kind of nervous and self-conscious, but we'll see how it goes. And I do anyway appreciate you watching this episode of Far Lands or Busts. Bloop 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 bloop. And bearing with the hello, your face isn't there. We go. And bearing with the, I suppose, slight irregularity of the episodes coming out. That seems to happen all the time, doesn't it? Where it's like, yeah, I'm sure you guys experience the same thing. I know I'm not alone in this, but it's like, yeah, I have all these plans. I'm staying ahead of schedule. I got everything written down. I know I got to do this, this, and this. Things are going to get done. And then, no, something comes up. You get sick. Something breaks. Somebody needs your help with something. XYZ, etc. And everything is just out the door. Out the door, I say. Shut the door. Shut the dang door, I say. Keep those plans in order. But yeah, thank you so much for watching episode 661. If you guys have Halloween plans, certainly stay safe, have fun, enjoy. Check to make sure your candy is gluten-free, and if it is, send it right along to me. Speaking of me never snacking. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Way to ruin Christmas.